The story of Michael Jordan. When people talk about greatness, about legends who have redefined what it means to be human, one name always rises above the rest: Michael Jordan. His story is not just about basketball, it is about struggle, resilience, obsession, pain, triumph, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. Michael was born in Brooklyn in 1963, but grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. He was not born a star. In fact, in high school, he faced one of his first big humiliations. As a sophomore, he tried out for the varsity basketball team and was cut. The coaches didn't think he was tall or skilled enough. That rejection could have broken him. Instead, it became the spark that ignited a fire. He spent hours every day practicing. While others slept, he was in the gym. While his friends relaxed, he was perfecting his jump shot, running drills, and pushing himself harder than anyone else. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was obsessed with it. He once said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." At the University of North Carolina under Coach Dean Smith, Michael started to blossom. In 1982, as just a freshman, he hit the game-winning shot in the NCAA championship. That single moment announced him to the world. People realized that this young man had something special, something unshakable. When he entered the NBA in 1984, drafted by the Chicago Bulls, the league was different. The Bulls were not a powerhouse. They were a struggling team with little identity. But when Michael stepped onto the court, everything began to change. He played with a mix of elegance and aggression that the world had never seen before. His dunks were poetry in motion, his mid-range shots unstoppable, his defense fierce. Yet even as he became a fan favorite, winning scoring titles year after year, championships didn't come right away. For years, the Bulls were stopped by the Detroit Pistons, the infamous Bad Boys. They hit him, fouled him, dragged him to the floor. They tested his limits, both physically and mentally. But Jordan never gave in. He came back stronger, building his body, sharpening his mind. His hatred of losing became his ultimate fuel. And then, in 1991, everything changed. Michael Jordan led the Chicago Bulls to their first NBA championship. The image of him clutching the trophy, tears streaming down his face, is one of the most iconic in sports history. That victory was not just for him. It was for every failure, every sleepless night, every drop of sweat he had shed since that moment he was cut from his high school team. What followed was pure dominance. 3 championships in a row. He became the face of basketball worldwide. But then came tragedy. In 1993, Michael's father, James Jordan, the man who had always been his anchor, his inspiration, was murdered. The pain was unbearable. Michael retired from basketball and turned to baseball, chasing the dream his father once had for him. Many ridiculed him for this decision. But Jordan's story has always been about daring to fail. And though he didn't conquer baseball, the world learned something about him. His courage to follow his heart, no matter what others thought. In 1995, he returned to basketball. With just 2 words, "I'm back," he shook the entire sports world, and the following years cemented his immortality. The Bulls won 3 more consecutive championships. His last shot in 1998 against the Utah Jazz, where he calmly sank the game winner, became known as the last shot. It was the perfect ending, a masterpiece of composure and willpower. But Jordan wasn't finished. In 2001, he returned once again, this time with the Washington Wizards. He was older, his body no longer what it once was. But people didn't come to see perfection anymore. They came to witness greatness one more time, to say goodbye properly. And in 2003, after 2 more seasons, Michael Jordan retired for the final time. The entire NBA honored him. Even opponents gave him standing ovations. Yet his legacy was far from over. Jordan wasn't just a player, he became a brand. Nike had launched Air Jordans in the 1980s, but after his playing career, Jordan brand exploded into a global phenomenon. These sneakers were no longer just sports shoes. They were cultural icons, symbols of style, success, and identity. Jordan brand turned him into the first billionaire athlete. But more importantly, it showed how one man's influence could transcend sports entirely. Michael Jordan redefined what it meant to be an athlete. Before him, basketball was a game. After him, it became a global culture. His impact went beyond the court, into fashion, movies, and even film. His role in Space Jam in 1996 was not just entertainment. It was a cultural milestone, merging sports and Hollywood in a way no one had before. His influence on other athletes is immeasurable. Kobe Bryant once said, "Everything I learned from watching Michael." LeBron James admitted, "Without Michael, there is no me." Every great player who came after carried a piece of his legacy. So what made him truly great? It wasn't just talent. It was his mindset, his relentless obsession with winning, his hatred of losing, his refusal to accept mediocrity. He demanded more of himself than anyone else could, and he demanded the same from those around him. His teammates sometimes feared him, but they respected him, because he showed them that greatness requires sacrifice. Jordan once said, "I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying." Another time, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. His philosophy wasn't just about sports, it was about life. Beyond the court, Michael also used his wealth and platform to give back. He donated millions to hospitals, schools, and education programs. In 2020, he pledged $100 million to organizations supporting racial equality and social justice. For a man known as a ruthless competitor, his generosity often spoke louder than his fame. Today, Michael Jordan remains more than a man. He is a symbol. His posters still hang in bedrooms across the world. His shoes are still worn by kids who dream of flying. His words are quoted in motivational speeches, business seminars, and locker rooms alike. People look up to him not because he never failed, but because he turned every failure into strength. He showed the world that greatness is not given. It is earned. Through pain, through sacrifice, through an unwillingness to give up. The story of Michael Jordan is not the story of basketball. It is the story of the human spirit. The story of a boy who was once told he wasn't good enough, who became the greatest of all time. And in the end, that is why his legacy will never die. Because Michael Jordan proved to the world that legends are not born. Legends are made.